Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Superhero Edition. Today, we are back talking about Antman and Wasp Quantumania that just came out this past weekend. So we got to have the captain on here, Mr. Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
We're doing good. It's President's Day. I didn't have to work today, so I'm doing fantastic.
Iron Man, the time has finally arrived. We had the first MCU movie of 2023. Phase 5 has officially started. Just real quick, because I know if you haven't listened to our preview, listen to our preview. What were your thoughts when you walked into the movie theater for the first movie of Phase 5?
As always, I was excited to see it with the crew. It's always fun going with the friends and watching any Marvel movie, any DC movie. So it was great. But at the same time, I was nervous because I didn't know what was going to happen to the heroes of this movie. So I was excited to be with the crew, but nervous to see what was about to unfold on the big screen.
Yeah, we all thought going into this movie since the first trailers that Scott Lang was done. Like that was
Yes.
the initial thought. And before we keep going, there will be some spoilers. Just some spoilers. We're not going to just say the whole movie. So make sure you check out the movie, support them. But there will be spoilers in this movie because we're going to talk about what's going on ahead.
Yes.
So we all thought he was going to die, Byron, and Scott. He gets real close, but he does not die in this movie.
No, he does not die this movie, but he did get his ass whooped for a good 10 minutes.
So, Byron, what were your thoughts on the movie? Like, what was your thoughts on the tone, the characters? Like, what were just your overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
The action was great. Jonathan Majors did an excellent job as Kang. He basically set the tone for his villain arc for the rest of Phase 5 and Phase 6. Of course, Paul Rudd does great as Ant-Man. Everyone did great in their roles, but for me, every time Jonathan Majors was on the screen, he was a scene stealer.
I agree. I think Jonathan Majors was the best part of the movie. I think anytime, like you said, he was on that camera, you're just like, wow, the presence about him, his demeanor, his physicality, his voice,
Mm-hmm.
all the perfect makings of a big phase bad guy.
Yeah, he was like I said in the preview before. Like I thought he was going to command every scene, and he did. Like you said, tone, physicality. Like you were scared. Like oh my god, what is he about to say, or what is he about to do? He was just asserting his dominance. It made you feel like oh yeah, this is a big threat. We need to pay attention.
So, Byron, just a gist for people who, just a quick rundown of the movie for people. Obviously, you see in the trailers that Cassie, Scott's daughter, makes a beacon that could go to the quantum realm. And Hope's mom is like, shut that down. And then they all get
Mm-hmm.
dragged into the quantum realm. They meet Kang. But the other side thing of this story was the relationship between Scott and Cassie, his daughter.
Yes.
Cassie feeling like now her dad turns his back on people fighting for stuff because Thanos stuff is over. He's more interested in promoting his book, getting all the perks he has. She
Mm-hmm.
feels like he's not doing what quote unquote an Avenger should be doing now. So how did you feel about that underlying plot?
That was a very interesting dynamic. Like how Scott is like this big celebrity author. I think he said they had like a number one selling book on New York Times best-selling book. But Cassie is now being like a rogue hero. In the movie, she gets arrested for helping this homeless protest against cops. So she shrinks a cop's car because of chemical particles. So Hope and Scott have to pick her up, and they're just discussing like, why are you not being more of a hero, but instead just promoting your books. I think it was a very interesting underlying storyline, but like I could see it because she grew up with Scott being a hero, being in Civil War, then being in both, well, not the first Avengers movie, but being in Endgame and basically saving the world because of his plan to travel through time. She's like, why are you not being a hero anymore? So I liked it.
She also brings up the fact that she had the little cheeky line that a guy dressed as a bee tried to attack her when she was 6. But she also brings up the thing that he had those like spurts and times of hero stuff, but he was not in her life for 5 years.
Right, because he was blipped away.
No, he was at the quantum realm. Everyone
Right,
else
yeah,
was
he was in
blipped
the
away.
quantum. He was, yeah, right.
But she had no idea. She thought she died. He died. So
Also, yeah, with that, I also feel like he was probably trying to make up for
he
those five
was.
years of being trapped in the quantum realm. So he's like, I just want to spend time with my family because we don't know what's going to happen.
He was. And because of that like situation too, like all the others knew that she's been arrested before besides Scott. And Scott even said at the beginning of the movie, like he wasn't supposed to have the life he has. Like if you watch Ant-Man 1, his ex-wife didn't like him. The
Mm.
new husband thought Scott was a scrub. He had a master's degree whenever he wasn't working at Baskin Robbins. Go to Endgame, all these people, I mean, post Endgame, all these people read his books. All these people
Mm.
know who he is. That Baskin Robbins is like, oh yeah, he's been employee of the month forever here, and all
They
of
say he was an employee of the century.
yeah. So that was interesting. But then that's only at the beginning. Most of the stuff takes place in the quantum realm. And when we saw the quantum realm, when they phased past it during Endgame, we didn't see any of the stuff that we see in Quantumania.
No, it was a different part of the quantum realm that we saw when they were phasing through it. But this was basically set, I guess, like a refugee camp that Kang, because basically Kang conquered the whole quantum realm. Because in the beginning of the movie, we see Janet, her time in the quantum realm. She finds this crashed spaceship. We learn that it's Kang. He says, "Where am I?" But then it cuts off. So later in the movie, we found out that she helped him repair his ship. Once she got the power started, she touched like his ship, which he controls with his mind. Since it's a part of his mind, she saw all the bad stuff that Kang did, so she ends up destroying the ship. So that was their little backstory of why she's afraid of Kang. But this was we saw like a refugee camp of the survivors of Kang being conquered, and then we see Kang's actual empire that he's built in the quantum realm.
Yeah, because that was I guess the third underlying point of this movie that Janet, why she never talked about the quantum realm, why she was mad that they made the beacon without talking to her, what really went on for 30 years while she was trapped there. And you found out like she was like a refugee fighter and all of that fighting down there. And Kang was only looking for her this whole time. And when she left, there was more suffering. And you see all the other refugees saying, this is all your fault, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have gave him what he wanted, none of us would have been suffering. If you didn't break the thing that cures his ship, like my people, like
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff. So you finally get a glimpse of what Janet was doing and why she never talked about the quantum realm.
Yeah, I think she was going through PTSD because
Yes.
when she eventually told Hope and Hank, she was like, I was trapped here for 30 years. I missed all this time with you guys, so I just wanted to come back and just be a normal family. Because she also didn't think he could escape because she broke his ship. But
Mhm.
it's Marvel, things happen.
But yeah, like you said with Kang, I mean, the premise too is Kang. I mean, we saw the commercial, and it is in this movie too, where Scott and Kang meet face to face, and Scott He's bluffing because he has no way of contacting the Avengers from the quantum
Mm-hmm.
realm. He's saying he called them; they're on their way, and then he was just like, "Oh, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you before?" And then that's when you knew, okay.
You you knew it was about to go down when you said, "Have I killed you before?" And he's like, all the timelines run together. I'm like, how many timelines have you been in where you've killed an Avenger?
And he's like, "You're not the one with the hammer, right?" So you're like, "Oh, he's serious, serious."
Right, Scott's like, yeah, people get me and him mixed up all the time. I'm like, okay, Scott.
So then Kang basically hires, quote unquote, blackmails Scott to get something for him, or he's going to kill Cassie. And he drops the line that I will kill her repeatedly, and you'll have to watch it over and over and over again.
Until you beg me to kill you. I'm like, that is a line right there. Because he can control time, so he could just have infinite time loops of him killing Cassie over and over and over again.
So then you go through that. You have the whole scenes. They're separated. They band together. You get to the final scene where they're all fighting and whatnot. And that's when you think Scott's going to die because Kang is destroying this man.
Kang whooped his ass for 10 minutes, maybe more. Like, this man was throwing hands and it looked easy. Like, Scott was light work.
I know. And as Scott said, he is an Avenger. He has had fights with other metahumans. So to be getting killed like this is a very bad look. And he only gets saved by his wife, Hope. So that is, you also realize too, at the very beginning too, you learn Kang the Conqueror, he was exiled here. He was sent to the quantum realm, and you find out why. And at the end of the movie, where they beat Kang, won't tell you how to beat him, but they beat him, and they're happy, thinking Scott's like, Kang did say that he was our last hope because other versions of him are going to be coming here. There's going to be a war. There's going to be destroyed the universe. Yeah, is that not going to happen, right? That's the second time you've heard of Kang say that, because if you go back to Loki, He Who Remains also said, I mean, if you think I'm bad, just wait till you see my other variants.
Yes, but like you said, I rewatched just that episode today because I wanted to see like if there's any other thing that alluded to this Kang and Quantum Mania. But basically, he said the same thing that Kang said. If you kill me, there is multiple versions of me that's coming. Like if you kill the dictator, what do you think is going to happen? And yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, and you also see that post credit scene where all the Kangs, like you have, I guess the top 3 Kangs or however they're doing it, that were up there talking about like, man, the exiled one's been killed. And they're talking amongst themselves like, oh, I know, you wanted to kill him yourself. And then they're having a meeting and they're like, how many of us did you gather? And he said, all of them. And you see all of these different versions of Kang because now they feel like the humans are getting too close. Obviously, if it's still intact, well, it should be because they used it at the end of Endgame because they had their own script for time travel. They have their own machine. They have the quantum realm now that you can go in like it's freaking DoorDash because they perfected it. So now the Kings are like, all right, these normal people are getting too close. It's time.
Yeah.
And that is the first end credit scene.
There's the first end credit scene. So like this Kang said in Quantumania and the last Kang said, like, if you kill them, that's going to start a whole war, and it's going to be infinite variants of Kang versus our group of Avengers. So we have Antman and the Kang Dynasty coming 2025, and then Avengers Secret Wars coming 2026, and Kang is actually supposed to be in both movies. Yeah, wow. That's the same thing. When I realized that earlier, I was like, oh, I thought he was just going to be in Kang Dynasty. That was it. We're going to have another big bad in Secret Wars. But nope. When you look in IMDb, Jonathan Majors is credited as Kang in both Avengers movies.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Now that we've seen him, we saw and he wasn't even that truly like he played a funnier version, like in the Loki one compared to
Hmm.
this menacing version in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah, because in the Loki one, his plan in Loki was to say, "Hey, you got two options. You can kill me, and all these Kangs are coming, or you can take over the TVA, and you two can prune timelines and keep the rest of the Kangs from creating another multiverse war." Because the first multiverse war started because one Kang from the 31st century basically opened up the timeline, was able to communicate with other Kangs, and they had a disagreement. So they all want to protect their own timelines and destroy the other timelines. So that's how the first multiverse war started. So the second one is going to start with both Kangs dying. So what I don't know is if like they died at the same time, like if Scott killed one Kang and then Sylvie from Loki killed the other Kang at the same time, or it was like one at the other. But I'm assuming they both died at the same time.
They had that video way back. I think it's still on YouTube where they had like Kang realizing what Wanda did. Like if you did like the
Mm-hmm.
side by side, I don't know if there's other videos in that. Probably gonna look that up. But like having that side by side, so it'll be interesting if someone tries to see if that's happened at the same time as well. Because Byron, we ask this every time. Now that we're back in movie mode, the team's technically disbanded. Like there's not like so what are they gonna do? Like who we don't even know who's truly on this roster.
We have no idea who's on this roster. The only one I know is Captain America and Captain Marvel.
And I guess well, because the people we've seen working together, quote unquote, we saw that Wong, Banner, and Marvel were talking when it came to
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi and his rings. I feel like
Correct.
Wong is maybe the Phil Coulson now, who since he's quote unquote Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, because he
So,
was in She-Hulk.
mhm. And obviously in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I
So
could see him being like the Phil Coulson of the next couple phases.
yeah, because they're gonna have to do something, man. It's really rough. I don't know all of these armies of Kang, and if all of them are even similarly close to the one in Ant Man, and they actually work together.
If they can fight like how Kang fought in Ant-Man, we are done for.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to see how that goes, man. Like his technology is way above everything they have. The Avengers haven't fought as a team since Endgame.
Yeah, we had like these subsections of them teaming up because we had Captain America, aka Falcon, and the Winter Soldier fighting together. Um, Come to Black Panther 2, Shuri and Riri Williams fighting together. And then Hawkeye, we had Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. She Hulk, we had She Hulk, Wong, and Daredevil. We got missing a show.
Man, you're naming people the other like main Avengers I haven't even met.
Yeah, Moon Knight. We don't know if Moon Knight's going to be a part of these two phases. He's out there. Yeah, we got members spread across everywhere.
Yeah, that's going to be my thing. Who is going to be the one who makes the call?
I feel like Ant-Man will have to make the call to Captain America, aka Falcon, because he's the only one outside of Loki that knows that Kang is a threat, and everyone thinks that Loki is dead.
That's true. Everyone does think Loki's. Yeah, yeah, because the only people who went back in that 2012 in that one was Cap, Tony, and Ant Man. And Ant Man didn't
Mm-hmm.
see the Loki thing, and Tony and Steve are gone. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be really interesting, man. And they're starting to see her off with a bang too, because the second end credit scene is already tying into Loki because
Mm-hmm.
Loki sees Kang again, and he's losing his mind. He's like, this is bad.
Mm-hmm. He is seeing another variant of Kang. I think his one's name is Victor Timely. I think he's supposed to be a prominent figure in Loki season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he gets the call to join the other Kangs in that season. But it's going to be a crazy phase 5 and phase 6.
So it's going to be really interesting too, especially with these other movies, because we don't have to wait long. This movie came out in February. In a couple of months, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is here in May.
Yep. And that's going to be someone, well, from the trailers, it looked like someone's dying, but with Marvel movies, you can never trust the trailers. But
that is true.
That's I think true. You think Drax is dying. I think Rocket's dying only because of the line is we'll all fly together in the great forever in the big beautiful sky. I feel like that's a line that you use when either you're about to die or you're dying.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Something's going to happen. You also have the debut of Adam Warlock, but now we're in that phase where we don't know end credit scene or whatever wise how this movie's going to tie into the overall thing of Phase 5.
Mm-hmm. Like, is it going to tie into the show or is it going to tie into the next movie? Because after that, the next movie is the Marvels coming out in November, because it was supposed to get released in July, but they pushed it back to November.
And that movie will have Rapino, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel.
Yep.
What's Rapino's superhero name? What was it? Did they give her one?
Yeah. Something with light in it. Okay. Or Spectrum. I think it might be Spectrum.
Yeah, I didn't know she got a name in WandaVision.
No, she didn't. Not officially yet.
Okay. Byron, anything else, man? This Kang he's a star, and he's going to be able to carry this phase. He's coming. He's here.
He is here with a vengeance, and I am afraid for our team because, man, he can throw hands.
Yeah. And he was able to build that army in the quantum realm. Imagine what he could do outside of the quantum realm.
Right. Especially now without the quantum realm. That's crazy that they do what they deem as like the most evil one got banished, but they're all in communication with each other just in case like something pops off. Like, yeah, we need to band together. Oh, we are done for. They really have a whole communication system. Like, yeah, he died, so we gotta march.
I just want to know how they knew he died in the quantum realm. Like, how strong is that connection?
Right. Like, that's what I want to know too. Like, are they connected through each other, or are they in communication? Like, did they have a spy in the quantum realm that said, "Hey, the one banished one died, so y'all might want to do something about it"?
I will say, Byron, one of the rumors have now been debunked. I mean, we all thought because they're the same design that those 10 rings from Shang-Chi were connected to Kang. As of right now, they are not.
As of right now, the 10 rings are not connected. Neither is Miss Marvel's bangle, because they all look like the same design. Now, will it be not debunked like in the next couple of movies? Maybe in Miss Marvel's, we'll see, or the Marvels will see if they're connected. But as of now, they're not connected.
Anything else you want to say about this movie, Byron?
No, it was good. Go see it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 56%, but I definitely think it deserves a higher score than what they gave them.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying like the plot may be convoluted, but which that's to each your own. But everyone says like Kang was the best part.
I agree. Kang was the best part of the movie.
Any other Marvel stuff before we close shop?
I think Marvel. Well, we did see the second trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. It just looks like it's going to be really good. We do see like in Rocket's past, where him being experimented on, becoming the Rocket that we know and love today. We actually do see a couple of scenes of Adam Warlock. He's character design looks really, really good. But I think it's going to be another emotional hitter from Kevin Feige and team.
And I will say just quickly to the DC side, since last recording, obviously Shazam 2 is coming out very soon.
Yes, I believe. Is
March.
that May too? March or May?
It's coming soon. But past Super Bowl, we have finally seen the Flash trailer. We have been saying this movie has to be so good that they put up with Ezra stuff in. That first trailer delivered.
That first trailer was really, really good. I've seen it about 5 times now since the Super Bowl. You finally see Michael Keaton deliver the iconic line, "I'm Batman," and then the next scene, you see him whooping ass.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer is heat. And then I remember in DC Fandom, they did show a little teaser trailer. They had in one scene they had Flash, Supergirl, and like this blurred out figure. But now we realize that it's actually another Flash that will be prevalent in this movie. So another version of Ezra Miller.
It's crazy in this trailer too that we say the return. We also see the return of Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yep. He's basically telling Barry, basically telling him don't go back in time because you can mess something up.
And he does from the trailer. Basically a reset of how the DCU started, like Man of Steel with Zod coming. Except this time there's no metahumans, there's no Clark, but now they go. It looks like she's locked in a government facility with no sunlight. You go find Kara. So this is how this stuff changes. So I see why they kept it because this really would be a great way to reboot it right into James Gunn stuff, so it seamlessly goes through.
Yep, I agree. I can see why they kept it based on the trailer. So I'm excited to see what that is. So Shazam comes out March 17th, and then
That's
The
close.
Flash comes out. Yeah, it's next month. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Flash comes out June 16th.
Do we get a scene with Ben Affleck and Keaton together?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah, with these type of movies and timelines and all that stuff, the rumors are going flying. People are saying we're going to see a third Batman in there. We might see who's cast as the new Batman. Just we're going to have to wait and see.
Gonna have to wait and see. I am holding my breath because everyone's screaming about, oh, is both Spider-Man there and being No Way Home or yeah, No Way Home. I was like, we'll see if that actually happens. They deliver, but we'll see because a lot of superheroes were supposed to be showing up in No Way Home.
Oh, I know the whole block. I mean, they started off well when you had Daredevil come in as the lawyer, and then like obviously we get Tom and Andrew and Toby, which fantastic. But you go to Doctor Strange, we thought everyone was going to be in there. We thought Tom Cruise was playing a variant of Iron Man.
True.
So,
and that didn't.
None of those things happened. Like that's why I feel like a lot of people are disappointed by that movie because they expected everyone to be there since it involved the multiverse.
I'm only expecting the people they announced and maybe setting up for the next movie that comes out, which would be after The Flash. I think it's Blue Beetle.
Yeah, so we'll see. And I'm excited for Flash. I mean, we'll see how it goes, and then we'll be back then next month talking about Shazam, and by then getting close to the return of Oliver Queen on Flash. So, and when we come back in March, Superman and Lois will be back.
Yep, March. Actually, they both come out the same week. The debut of Superman Lois season 3 and Shazam, I believe, are happening in the same week or within a week of each other.
So here we go. Here we go, man. We're in full swing of things.
Yeah, it was great to be back talking about superheroes. I love it. I'm very excited about what Marvel is about to do with Kang and all his variants, and excited about to see DC's, well, James Gunn's and Peter Safran's vision of DC. Definitely the next couple months, March. I don't think we'll have anything in April, but Marvel hasn't announced when Loki season 2 or Secret Invasion is coming. So April we may have a break, and then May and June we got Guardians and The Flash.
We'll see. We'll see. Byron, anything else?
No?
Okay. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Make sure you go check out Antman and Wasp Quantumania so you can see the full movie. Let us know what you think. Where you're listening to this on YouTube or wherever you listen to, we appreciate your support. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube. We're trying to hit big listening marks, so continue supporting us. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll keep giving you more and even better content.